seeing is that the people that feel secure in their jobs right now are looking for something to spend on. And I think that this idea that there's no one making trips, there's no one going out, at the end of the day, you have to find some other type of escapism. And perhaps interestingly, the last 5 years have been a story about people spending on experiences over things. This is the year where things become your experience, and figuring out that escape, I think, is absolutely key.
So tell me who in your coverage universe you think could benefit the most from this, and whether those benefits are already priced in.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that at the end of the day, the way we're looking at it is we're barbelling the large players, the Nikes, the TJXs, the companies that are going to feel some disruption but take a lot of market share over the long term. And then on the other side, getting a little bit more interesting, finding the undervalued. I know we've spoken about in the past, we upgraded shares of L Brands, LB, and Under Armour on this idea that you have these very large brands that finally have this interesting opportunity to set themselves right. So ultimately, I think if you're a brand with something, with product that people want to buy, I think we're going to find that this is a holiday where demand outstrips supply. And we haven't been able to say that for a very long time.
Well, and what you're saying has deeper implications for the economy, too, because if there's more demand than supply, it would suggest that could help manufacturing kind of kick into gear, maybe give us a second leg here, especially since it was down this morning. I'm curious about the shopping experience this holiday season. You know, how are people shopping? Are they going to the shopping mall or not? Not saying that that's been the be-all, end-all, but we don't expect mall traffic to be what it was. Black Friday doesn't look like the event that it was. No one's going to see Santa, I doubt, except maybe here and there. How is that going to affect how and where people spend their dollars?
I would say it's going to be sad. It's the first time you and I won't be in the mall together on Friday, but actually we haven't done that in a while. So I think that this emblematic, I remember years ago, but I think it's a very interesting point in terms of where we're going to go. And the reality is we keep hearing about this curbside pickup. So people are still willing to travel. They're just changing that dynamic. And I think it's creating this element where stores are going to have to decide, is the shopping experience supposed to be a fun, experiential outing, or is it supposed to be a transactional, get something done? And I think we're going to find it's a hybrid. And I think that that's this idea of all these stores becoming dark stores and becoming mini warehouses, and the curb becoming your next place to pick up. It's your new cash wrap. So ultimately, it's this fusion. Any retailer that sticks to one path is probably not going to survive or do well in this environment. It's the brands and the retailers that are able to pivot and make their way in there. But I think that's the experience question. What I do think, and I stick to this idea that I know you and I have talked about for a while, I don't think there's going to be amazing deals out there. I don't know that we should be expecting 2008 type of promotions because there's this word pandemic out there. And I think that's this idea that the same way that as humans we took a pause because of the pandemic, all the manufacturing that you brought up, in all the factories, all the vendors, they all took a pause too. And that just means there's not as much product as they might want. It actually might be the first time in a while where there's sales left on the table. Doesn't mean that's going to be structural, but at least for right now, I think what we're looking at is this shift in power from the consumer demanding promotions to the retailer able to actually set price. And that's actually really encouraging. Wow.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.